Hey everybody, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where I give you healthy options for things that you love to eat. Now today I've got a great one. It is summer, at least the weather says so. And I know you don't have a lot of time, you don't want to put a lot of energy into making stuff, and sometimes it's just easier to buy commercial. However, that doesn't always mean healthy. So today we're gonna make something that's nice and cool and a great treat. Super easy to make, only technically 2 ingredients. It does take a little time, but not effort. So that's where we're gonna go today. We're gonna make some protein yogurt pops. Super simple, just a couple of ingredients. You do want to have some sort of a popsicle mold. I will tell you that was an interesting practice on when I did that yesterday, but anyway, so super simple. What you're gonna use is you're gonna use some Greek yogurt. Now my favorite is the Too Good brand because it only has 2 grams of sugar added. Most sugars you're gonna find at least 6, sometimes as much as 34, even for Greek yogurts. That's a lot of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. The whole point is sugar makes you store fat. Got it? Okay. So anyway, you can find this at most grocery stores these days. I know that locally here we find it at Walmart, Safeway, Albertsons, Fred Meyer, all of those local stores. Most of them do carry it at this point. They're a little more expensive, but honestly, for what they are, they're worth it. They taste great, and they're made with stevia. So great options. We're gonna use the vanilla today. Now you can use some other options. I'm just going to use what I have on hand and what works for me, and literally try to make these as little, with as little added sugars as possible, because of course that's what we're trying to avoid, and of course chemicals and all that extra garbage, the additives and preservatives. So really it's kind of a balance of picking and choosing. Okay, so I'm going to use the entire container. Now this is 5.3 ounces. So if you're getting the bigger containers, which they do carry, and you can use plain. So if you're using, really it's up to you. You can mix and match flavors. Okay, the protein powder, because we are going to add a little bit of protein powder. Now this is an isolate, and this, what I love about this is that it's, number one, it's super clean. This is a brand that actually produces an unflavored option for bariatric patients. It's called Syntrax. I use a lot of this. I love this because this isolate has no sugar, no fat, no carbs. It is just purely a protein isolate. And it comes in a ton of flavors. That's why I carry it. It's clean, it tastes good. You can get it on Amazon. Again, not my favorite option, but you know, we all live across the country, right? So I know this is kind of a strange flavor, but this is natural orange. I also love the wild grape flavor. That's how I make my protein pudding. Protein pudding is just thicker protein. That's all it is. So I'm gonna eat it with a spoon. So I'm just gonna add 1 scoop of this to my 1 container of the vanilla Too Good yogurt. Literally, that's pretty much all it is. I am gonna add just a smidgen of a sugar substitute, a liquid stevia, just because, of course, this is tart. The yogurt's kind of tart. I just wanted to sweeten it up just a little bit. So 1 scoop of this, okay, 1 scoop. And I'm gonna mix it with a fork, just because it's easy. It's a little thick, so I'm not sure how well a whisk would work. And I'm literally just mixing it in a bowl. Super easy. Now, if you double it, you can make all 3, right? I'm actually just gonna make 1 and eat the rest with a spoon. I know, I'm funny today. All right, so I'm just gonna mix this up. I personally love super easy. I don't do a lot of complicated because I don't have the time or the energy or the brain power to get super detail oriented. I am detail oriented. It just can't be complicated. All right, so I'm gonna add, like I said, just a little bit of liquid stevia. This is the non-flavored. Usually I like the caramel and stuff like that in my coffee, if you watched last week. But I'm just gonna use it doesn't take much, you guys. You're not matching actual sugar, right? It just takes a little. Stevia is actually sweeter. So I'm just going a little bit of a squirt. I'm gonna mix that up and I'm gonna fill my mold. Now, last night I made it. Learned real quick. I also checked back with the author of this recipe directly, and she said, yeah, it takes a little longer than normal popsicles to freeze because you're freezing yogurt, right? Okay, so the other thing that I did yesterday was put the popsicle handle in wrong. And welcome to my day. Yesterday was a very, very long day. All right, so I'm gonna lick it because I can. It kind of reminds me of creamsicles from when we were younger, right? A little bit of vanilla, a little bit of orange. Creamsicle. All right, I'm gonna leave these in as is. You know, we're all human, right? I'm just gonna fill the mold until it covers the popsicle stick. Just spooning it in, and I'm gonna smooth it out. And you're gonna freeze it, honestly, about 6 hours. So if you make these tonight and then you can eat them tomorrow, that's actually a pretty great option. So that's all the ingredients. I'm gonna show you how it turned out finally. Again, I didn't realize it was gonna take this long to freeze, but honestly, that's fine. You can make a few of these, leave them in the freezer, so when somebody's super hungry, you know, if you're struggling to get all your protein in for the day, not a bad option. Maybe you just don't like drinking protein shakes. Some people don't, and you guys, they're not required. They're not required for health. They're not. It's just convenience, and especially if you're really struggling to get enough protein in the day, it's a supplement. That's what it is. All right, I'm gonna smooth that out, stick that in the freezer, and meanwhile, I'm gonna show you what this looks like. And yes, I had to get like super cute ones because the author of this did too. So here's how it's gonna look. I'm gonna throw that in the freezer. Again, it's gonna take about 6 hours. They do turn out. Oh, except for when I pulled it out of the freezer, it stuck to the plate. There we go. See, it's a seahorse. Again, I was just looking for popsicle molds. This is what I found last night as I was searching for it, but it turns out great. It is frozen solid. You can suck on it, eat it. It's, you know, it's basically a yogurt pop. So it turned out great. So again, I don't know, it's got actually quite a bit of protein. I'm gonna say it's about 36 grams. As it sits, I'll have to do some calculations. Maybe I'll drop that down below with the recipe, but it's super fast. And thanks to Tony Williams for coming up with this. She's very creative. So I'm gonna post this down below. Now really quick, if you need ideas, if you're struggling to be creative with your healthy food, because it doesn't have to be bland and boring, definitely go to my YouTube channel, Fillmore Fitness. If you want to subscribe and hit the notification button, that way you know every time I post a new video. These videos here on Facebook only last for about 30 days, but they are almost immediately uploaded to YouTube, so you can go back and find all of them with the recipe and where I found the recipe as well. So I like to give credit where credit is due. Anyway, have a great Saturday, you guys. That's Meals with Melissa. We'll come up with some more great options. If you have a recipe you want to share, phenomenal. Get a hold of me, message me through Facebook Messenger, drop some comments down below, because we all need to help each other come up with the very best healthy life. Have an incredible weekend, you guys. Bye now.